I mean, my name is Thomas Hernstam. I'm the lead designer of the CK board game and one of the founders of Free League Publishing, who's doing this as a partnership with Paradox. I have a background in Paradox myself. I used to be a brand manager for CK2, the computer games. That's sort of my way into this, but I've always had a passion for physical games, tabletop role-playing games and board games, so it's always at the back of my mind. I always thought CK would be, you know, a perfect board game. And now I finally got a chance to actually realize that dream. That's a lot of fun. Freely, we mostly previously have done tabletop RPGs. This is the first major board game. We've made some smaller stuff before. This is the first major board game, but we just thought it was a perfect fit, as CK is so much about story and characters and all of that, which is fairly close to an RPG. So for us, that was a very natural. It was like of the Paradox games, this was the one that we really felt passionate about turning into a board game. I should mention this is a prototype. This is not the final game. There's a lot of mainly the rules are in place. There are some changes, some tweaks being made, but there will be a lot of changes on the visual side. The board will be bigger. These are not the actual miniatures. They will be more detailed and larger in the finished game. These are just placeholder. So that's good to keep in mind. There's going to be a lot of changes on the visual side. But basically the game, this is a fully playable prototype. That's pretty much it. I mean, I should also mention that obviously CK2, the computer game, is you know, you can play it for hundreds of hours and fiddle with so many little bits. That's not possible in a tabletop game that we also want to be playable in a single evening. So what we're really trying to focus on is to keep that CK feel and sort of boil down the essence of CK. All get that juicy medieval drama going, all these crazy events, family management, all of that's the focus of this game. And it retains a lot of things you can do in the computer game. You can go crusading, you can build, you can invade, you can marry, you can kill off your inbred son, you can do all kinds of stuff. It just is a bit more condensed than in the computer game version. So that's pretty much the way it rolls. Feel free to break in with questions at any time. And if you're ready, we could just have a short, we won't obviously be able to play a full game.
How long is the playtime?
We aim for 2 hours. Right now it's a bit more than that, we'll see, but around there, between 2 and 3 hours. We really want to keep it below 3. Yeah, so we can actually really finish it in a single sitting. That's what we want to aim for. So right now we have like 20 minutes, so we'll can get a feel for it maybe if you want to try. Right now the game is 3 to 5 players. Right now it's set up for 4 players, like 1 on each side. This table is a bit. Whoever's playing France will be a little bit on the side here. Otherwise, it's fine. Do you have any volunteers who want to play? Great. Yeah, just grab a chair.
Sure.
Yeah. This is the draft rule book, so you feel free to look through that at any time. Oh yeah, that's my card over there and that leaflet from Free League. Just grab those if you like.
Sure.
Cool.
Who are you? English?
Yeah.
Spanish?
You are the
English.
English, yeah.
Italian.
The House of Normandy. There are a number of dynasties in the game because there are different scenarios. You can choose when in time, what era you play in. But each dynasty is associated with one of the cultures of the game, like the French, the English, the Spanish, the Italians, and the Germanics. So it's and these are indicated by colors. These are actually supposed to be knights, but for some reason the green knights didn't make it over the Atlantic, so they're hence those pieces. All right. Yes. Let's see. The game is played over a number of eras or generations, and in each there are 3 generations in a full game, and in each game, each generation there are 3 turns where you play 2 cards each, and the cards indicate what kind of actions that you will be doing. And another key thing are the traits of your characters. Instead of using dice for resolution, you use trait bags. This bag will be the traits of your king and then of your dynasty, and this will change as play progresses. So right now in these trait bags you have the starting traits of your king. So you can have a look in these and just see what they're like.
Whenever I track, this all sounds right.
So here we have the House of Normandy. Here is you'll be playing the French,
Yes.
House of Capet, and you are the
Italians.
yeah, and the Salian dynasty. The Germans are over there. All right. Yes. So when these are the starting traits, you will accumulate more traits into your dynasty as you play, depending on who you marry, what children inherit the throne, and certain events that will come off of these action cards.
So, like, if you know, historically, Richard gets the throne first, does that necessarily happen in the game, or could it skip straight to John if something?
Yeah,
happens?
the starting positions are historical. To an extent. There's some adaptations that need to be made, for gameplay. But from the point of the start of the game, you're really in control of history. Okay. So the game will diverge from history from the point that you actually start playing. So it'll be an alternate history created in the game. All right. Let's see. So the first thing you do in each generation, which there are 3 of, is that you draw a number of these action cards, and they will indicate the general strategy for your dynasty in this generation. And there are 8 different actions. You can build castles, develop your realm with these development cards. You can plot. There's a number of different plots available. You can check out from the rule back in this leaflet there. You can overthrow, you can raise levies, raise armies, and you can invade. You can tax, and you must crusade at least once per generation. That's your holy duty to go off on the Crusades. So, these numbers here indicate how many of each of these cards that you are allowed to draw at the beginning of each generation. The full game, you will actually be able to see these numbers from the other side. Feel free to get started. I think for this test scenario, you will be the first player.
Okay.
This is indicated by the first player token. So basically, you will now draw 8 cards.
8 cards, and using the
out of the wood, you can have 0 to 3 of these, 0 to 3 of those. Same there. 0 to 2 of that one, and 1 or 2 of that one.
Okay.
It sort of depends on what you want to be focusing on for this generation.
Take Crusade. We'll take tax. With 2 bold and develops. Let's do another tax. That. Okay.
Yep, done. Great. So, the Germans. I can hand the cards over if you're hard time reaching over it.
Yeah.
How many cards coming?
8 cards, you said?
8 cards in total, yeah.
Oh, okay.
0 to 3 of these, 0 to 2 of that one tax, and 1 or 2 crusade. These are for developing a realm, these are for intrigue, and these are for war, basically. I should say that you will need a casus belli before you can go to war, so you need probably at least 1 plot. If you can't, you will probably won't have at least one of those if you plan to do war as well. So that's
No. Yeah. Two build.
Sure.
1 plot. 3 raised levies. And I'll do a tax and a crusade.
great.
All right, I'll start with the invade for sure.
Yeah, good idea.
Right off the top. Definitely plotting. Take a couple of these. I don't want develop. That makes 7. Tax them. Okay, we'll take one development. Okay.
And watching what Italy just did, I'm definitely grabbing one of these.
Yeah, I would suggest that's the way to go.
And 2 taxes. And 2 of these. 2 of these. Gotta change this. How many do I have right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And Crusade.
Awesome. All right. You all have your 8 cards? Fantastic. As you can see, on the top banner of each card are just listed the actions available. It's 1 action or a choice of 2 actions depending on the card. Then there's an event down below with a image on it. Most of these events are unique, so there's about 150 different events. The only one that is recurring is childbirth, which tends to happen quite a lot. And these events are triggered when you play the card. So when you play this action that you want, you will also trigger the event. The event is usually bad for yourself or good for another player. So that means there will always be a risk-reward or a balance there, but you actually want to play this card now, because then I will trigger this event that might be bad for you. So you have to sort of figure out when and how to play each card in the best possible time. So that's good to keep in mind. All right. So we move into the first turn of the first generation. There is no upkeep to be done because there are no raised armies at the board at this time. So starting with the English, you choose your 2 cards to play first.
Okay.
And you place them face down on the board in the order that you want to play them. The first action first and the second action below. So you actually sort of program your actions 2 cards ahead, secretly from the other players. And feel free to, we'll go through each action as we play. There'll probably,
I'll start with that.
One minor thing to mention is also it's risky to send to Crusade right away because you really want to have an heir because there is if you have no children to send, you have to send your king and he might die. So if you Crusade right away, you might actually kill your king and trigger a succession crisis the first thing that happens. So it's happened a couple of times, so it's worth mentioning that you should probably hold off on Crusading a bit.
Mark is infertile now.
I think I'm happy with this too. Yeah, I'm good.
All right, and this can be done. Yeah, you can do it simultaneously.
Right,
Yes, it's done in secret anyway. It doesn't. So you just place those one on top of the other.
So for these that require a spouse or a child, these we currently do not have.
Exactly. When it says cards where the event says self, it affects yourself.
Right.
Or it says other, it says target player.
Right.
That actually means the next player to your left, and that's the wording is going to be clarified there. So basically, you always send those events to your left. If that player does not qualify for the requirement, it skips to the next player.
I guess I don't get the push-pull thing. I see that some cards affect. So you were saying that cards have a benefit and a drawback, right?
Generally, the cards are negative for you or
Right.
good for another player. But of course, you play the cards because you want to perform the action up top.
I see. Oh, I get it.
So that's the balance between the action and the event. Where the action is something you want to do, and the event is something that's probably going to hurt you in some way.
How do we acquire the spouse cards?
Yes, I'll get to that. First, when you start playing, before you play these action cards, you can. There's a special marry action that you can perform, which you probably want to do right after you've chosen these cards. So you can.
And we're picking 2 cards each, right?
2 cards each now. And in the full generation, you will be playing 6 of the 8 cards. So actually, 2 of these cards will not be played at all. So you can, if there are cards that you really feel that the event is not something you want to happen in the game, you can discard 2 cards.
Do these decks scale at all? Like, the top actions are worse than the bottom actions?
Not really.
Okay.
They're
Throughout the game,
they're shuffled, so
yeah.
it's random. I mean, of course, you never know. But
Are there cards that you remove for lesser players?
none of these cards, no. I mean, what happens when you play with less players is that parts of the board are removed. I mean, in this scenario, we're not playing with the Spanish, so basically you cannot cross this border.
Gotcha.
The whole Iberian Peninsula is like not off limits when you play with four. All right. All done?
Yeah, I think so.
Great. Cool. Then it's time to play the first round. And in each round you generally play one of the cards at a time, but the first thing that happens is that you can marry if you're not married. And you probably want to be married.
Sure.
Later in the game you can marry each other's children, but since none of you have children at the start of the game, you'll have to turn to the random spouses from lesser houses in Europe.
Okay.
However, as a part of the setup, all of these have traits. So I figured we might as well draw these traits randomly. So this is actually part of the setup, but we can just do it now.
Sure.
So let's start from the left. That's Thomas there. He's a lunatic.
That's good.
Yeah. All right.
Perfect guy for you.
Heinrich.
Heinrich is clever.
Felicia?
Felicia is
Last
what
ball.
now? Judita is content. All right.
Generous.
Okay, so now you see there's 50-50 distribution of positive and negative traits in this trait bag.
Okay.
So these potential spouses, when you marry one of them, their trait will go into your trait bag. So that will actually have a direct impact on your dice, so to say. So you really want them as many green as possible in your trait bag.
Okay.
So
What do the crowns signify?
they signify the fact that for some, normally you make a trait draw, you want a green to succeed.
Right.
But for some specific actions, even specific red traits count as a success.
Okay.
So in this case, lustful, which is normally negative, counts as a success for the marry action.
Got
Cruel, for example, normally is a negative trait, that's a failure. But if you invade or crusade, cruel is good. So then that's a success.
Cool. I like that.
So you could, since you're a male king, you'll have to propose to a woman.
Okay.
This is the Middle Ages after all. So you could go for Felicia. She would automatically accept your proposal, but then you would get that trait into your trait bag, which is probably not something you want.
Not ideal.
If you want to propose to to Giselle or Isabel, you will have to make a trait check, trait draw. You need at least one green to make it.
Okay.
You can, if you want to increase your chances, then this is a general rule, you can usually pay to get extra draws. For each gold you pay, you get one more draw.
Okay. I'll risk it.
You risk it?
Yeah.
You just chance it?
Generous.
Giselle the Generous.
Isabel.
And just drawing one of these, it's
So you just have, now you have a 50-50 chance of succeeding at this proposal.
and I can pay 1 gold for an extra draw?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Alright.
So I will just draw 2 right now?
You couldn't even
you draw
remember
one at a
her
time.
name, so it's good that you
One at a time.
One
If
at
you
a
draw a
time.
success, you don't get to draw anymore.
Okay, well there's a success.
Pious. She's impressed by your piety and she accepts your proposal.
Just out of curiosity, I couldn't have drawn and then paid and then to draw again.
No, you have to pay before. Exactly.
Okay, so
Great. This one goes back into your
into
trade
the
bag, and her
and generous as
generous
well.
as well.
Okay,
So
great.
now you have 3 green and 2 red, which means that your dice are better than before.
Cool.
And also, since you have a spouse, you can now also have children.
Okay.
Right. You want to get married too?
Yes.
There's no bastard children.
There can be bastard children. Oh yeah, one more thing.
I've got a card that does that. Yeah.
Come on,
As
that's not fun.
one of these spouses was.
Creates a lot more conflict.
Let's draw it. She's replaced by another random spouse. Let's see what.
Catherine,
Hottie.
Hottie. Yeah. Okay, so now you have a bit more limited choice. If you want someone with a.
Monty, I get it.
Yeah, not. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not H-O-T-T-I.
No.
H-O-T-T-Y. Oh man.
Arrogant bitch. Okay. Want to try for Giselle the Content? Or one of the red ones?
Yeah, I guess I'll try to
Okay.
be content, and I also
Pay 1?
yes.
Okay.
A content wife sounds like a happy marriage. Just saying.
Well,
Well, it sounds like an easy marriage.
There you go. So now you draw 1 at a time, and you'll need at least 1 green to make it.
Yeah, good.
Right away? Oh, you're... She's... Yeah. Heard of your braveness and accepts the proposal, and her trait goes into your trait bag. Alright, now let's see. She's replaced exactly by Edith. So now let's see what Edith is like. There could be a situation now where they're all red. That can happen.
That
did happen.
I have my own Felicia that's less full anyway.
Yeah,
So.
you can grab that, and
I
you
see.
don't have to draw.
Perfect.
And that's of the choice there. That's the better one because that's a
Right.
critical for certain actions. So that goes into your trade bag,
Yeah.
and you're done. Okay, and then she's replaced by Diana. Let's see what she's like.
She is
Attractive. Well, no. And it's your turn.
All right. Well, we're going to try to get the attractive one.
All right,
And
why
we'll
not?
Spend a gold and get 2 draws.
Yeah. Perfect.
You're so shallow.
First draw is gluttonous.
Uh-oh. No,
Yeah.
she's not impressed by that.
Second draw is generous.
Generous. Well, that works.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
She's now your wife.
Alright.
Attractive Diana. And we replace her anyway, even though now you're all married. But of course, things happen in this game. You might need to get married again at some point.
In case someone Henry VIII it.
Yeah. She's strong. So there's another good contender there. All right. Now, the first round, you will now play your first card of the 2 in the order that you place them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going
This
to
is your first card?
Yeah, I'm going to build.
Exactly. So, okay. It's the build develop card, so you can build a castle or you can develop. Developing means that you buy these development cards. There are 2 types. There are counselors and there are inventions. You can buy 1 card for 1 gold, the second costs 2 and the third costs 3. So you can buy all 3 at one, but it's going to cost you 6 gold, so it's quite expensive. Building castles is also something you can do. Castles are good. The French start with one, the others don't. Benefit of a castle is it's harder to invade a province with a castle, and it also increases the amount of money you get when you tax.
Okay.
So it's a good investment in your realm, but it's quite expensive.
Yeah, it seems like it's 3 gold over the course
Yes. It's,
of
you have to.
You
It
have to
costs
draw
1 gold.
1
just
gold to test.
to
Then
test,
if I
and
draw
then you
3,
can-
then I pay the other 2.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try. I'll give that a go.
Okay. Do you want to pay extra to get extra draws?
I
wanna
have
chance it?
3. I have 3 green here and 2 red. And I
Yes.
assume I can check this at any point, right?
Sorry?
I can check the bag. At any
You
point,
can check
right?
your bag at any point. but you
Okay, but
cannot-
with 3 green, 2 red,
Yeah.
so I'll just do that. I'll give it a go.
Yeah. So you just chance it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You cannot because you cannot pay after you have drawn.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, so that's
Cruel.
no good.
No good. Yeah. It's too bad.
Okay.
Yeah. You're too cruel to your you
To
know
my people?
to your people. So
Okay.
the building of the castle is not completed in time.
Okay.
So the action fails.
Okay. Does
Yeah.
the event still trigger?
Yes.
Okay.
And what's the event?
That says your regent goes on a royal hunt. Make a trait check. No gold can be spent on the check. If you succeed, you get the strong trait. If you fail, your regent is killed in a hunting accident.
That's a harsh one.
Not even conquering.
Yeah. Here we go though. Green.
Ah,
Boom.
you made it.
Okay, so I gained the strong.
Yeah. So you're out on the hunt. You survive, and you gain the strong trait, which is here.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
Okay, that's
Okay, yep, so you can put that in a discard pile, yeah. Alright, your turn, your first action.
Okay,
That
my
one on
first
top.
action.
Yeah.
Develop, build, a child is born.
So first you resolve the action. You can build a castle just like he tried to do, or you can buy these development cards.
Yeah, I'll try to build a castle.
Alright. So it costs you 1 just to try. and then it will cost you 2 to complete it, and then you can pay extra to increase your chances. You want to pay, you have 3, so you could pay 1, but that's otherwise you don't have enough to complete the building.
Yeah. You know what? I will.
Right. So now I have 2 draws.
No.
Brave. Success. All right. That one goes back into your bag, and now you pay 2 more. You're out of gold, but you have a pretty castle somewhere.
Yes.
And you are the Germans, right? So
Yes.
you place it in any province that you prefer. It's usually good to have it
Far away from enemy lines.
Actually, it's good to have them close to enemy lines because they protect
closer
you
because
from
they help.
invasion. They help protect your lands.
Yeah, it's basically defensive bonus.
Yes.
Oh,
They
okay.
made it, so-
I was reading that totally wrong.
Can we have about 2 more minutes till half past?
Yep, great. All right, we'll probably just finish this first round, and then it's
Okay, I've got a
break it up.
healthy lifestyle.
So you start with that action on top.
Oh, develop build, sorry.
Oh, we actually forgot about
Oh, yes.
your event. Sorry.
Okay, yes,
Oh, yes.
A child is born.
Yes. Requires spouse, which I
Yeah,
have.
but this is an
Have some
other
player left.
card, so it means it doesn't happen to you.
Oh.
It happens to him.
Oh.
Assuming he's married, which he
Yeah, he
is.
is.
So you have a child.
Oh, there you go.
So you draw a random card from that pile.
Okay.
This is your child.
And put them.
Yeah, there is underneath your cards there.
Got
There
it.
is
Our
the
child.
child. Her name is Sibylla.
Sibylla.
You're gonna have a daughter, and let's see what she's like.
Little Sibylla is hopefully lustful. Weak.
She's weak. That's too bad. So, the way the laws of succession work in this game is that the oldest son inherits, but
Okay.
daughters can inherit the throne if there are no sons. So
Okay.
right now she's in line to inherit your throne.
Got it.
But at least you have an heir, which
Right.
the others don't.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Oh, it is a weekend.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I'll take what I can get.
Yeah.
Pray for marriage. Pray for marriage.
Develop build.
Yes.
So I'm going to buy the Navy.
Nice.
It costs 1 gold, right?
Yeah. You just grab it and put it on your inventions slot in there. Cost 1.
Right. And I get a Navy figurine. Which
You would if we
Okay.
they will be in the deluxe version of the game. In the basic edition there, it's just a card.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
Cool. And you had an event on the card? as
Yes. So
well? Healthy lifestyle.
yes, your region is living a healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
Philip is kale.
Remove an age token.
Yeah. So at this point, that doesn't have any effect because he doesn't have. At the end of each turn, all the kings get an
okay.
age token,
Okay.
and when they get their 5th, they die.
Oh, I
So you
see.
can get event cards that will remove or add age tokens
That's
depending
cool,
on what
yeah,
happens
yeah.
in their life. So in this case, it didn't actually have an effect, but it can.
Which
be.
is a good time to play it. Then,
Except
right?
for you,
Yeah.
because you avoid helping another.
Right.
Guy. Exactly. Cool. So okay, you're done.
So
So let's
take
just
that
play
from
this
mom.
your
Yeah.
card. And then
Mine's
we'll-
easy. I'm doing attack. So
You're
I
taxing?
assume I get 3 gold from that, or how's that work?
You're the
French.
French. You get 1 per province under your control, plus
Okay.
1 per castle. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. All right.
Wow.
5 gold for you.
5 gold. All right.
Put in there.
Put it there.
And then there are
And then you get a kid.
Oh, fantastic.
You get a kid. You get a kid.
Congratulations
So,
on
from
this
there.
very special day.
Yeah, that's right.
Cecilia.
Cecilia. And these cards, there's 50-50 male,
Male,
female.
female.
Like
Okay.
that. It could be anyone, anything.
Can I draw a
Never
card
know.
for her?
What are we gonna get? Ugly coward.
Mean.
Didn't win it. I like to win it. Go for it.
The pious.
He's pious. That's a good trait.
Oh,
All right.
it also looks like a
Yeah, very, very takes after him.
It looks like money, yeah. All right, so that was the first round. Then you would play 1 more round with your second card, and then the first turn is complete, and then you draw 2 more cards, and then that way it moves. And of course, in the beginning, it's usually you tend to sort of build up your realm a little bit, but then you start. The war starts basically pretty
Now,
quick.
one thing you mentioned is that the game runs 3 generations.
Yeah.
But how long a king lives is somewhat random.
Yeah. Yes.
so
Actually,
how-
the word generation is in we're changing that to era because it's actually not a generation as such. It's a period of time.
Okay.
So it's not a generation here. So that's
you
what
do
we're
it
changing.
have multiple generations in one era. Is that the idea?
Yeah. I mean, in terms here,
Right.
it could happen at any
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah.
So basically, like one era would be when we ran out of cards.
Yeah. When you played 6 cards, so you
Six
can discard 2 of them. Exactly.
Okay, got it. Right. Right.
And then also the game ends after 3 eras, or when the Crusade reaches Jerusalem. You can shortcut the game with it.
Okay, interesting.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is this track?
Yeah, that's the Crusade track. When you play the Crusade action, you actually place your Dynasty shield here. You gain this negative trait, but you gain a bonus, and in the end, the one who has the most shields on this track gains a bonus victory point. So it's a way of focusing on that. You gain extra victory points as well.
Just curious, like really quick breakdown
Yeah.
how a combat would work. Like
Sure.
as in, like 30-second version.
Absolutely. Yeah. Probably should have. Yeah.
No, just out of curiosity.
Yeah. So it's basically use the invade action. First, you need to raise armies. That's a separate action. That doesn't require a check, but they cost money. You place these little army figures in, and once you have them, you can invade the neighboring provinces. You use a trade check for that as well, but you get bonuses if you have, like, you can invade. Say he wants to invade Normandy. If you have do it with 2 armies from 2 neighboring provinces, you get a bonus draw.
Okay.
If you would have a castle here, you would need an extra success to do it. So there's some more elements to consider, but the core mechanic is the same with the trade
Okay,
check.
drawing check.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you succeed, you actually just take
take
control
over
of that province.
Okay.
Big question. When are we
Yes.
thinking this is going to see store shelves?
Store shelves, I would say Q1 next year. Backers, you get it around Christmas, around there. Yeah. So yeah. And if you have any other questions later on, just feel free to email me or
Sure,
whatever. You can grab that card there.
It
And
looks like a really